In the golden hush of dawn, the African savanna awakens beneath a vast, endless sky. Atop a rocky outcrop, a male lion stands sentinel, his mane ablaze with the first rays of sunlight. He surveys the sprawling grasslands, every muscle poised, every sense attuned to the subtle rhythms of his domain. The lion's presence is unmistakable, a living emblem of power, his authority woven into the very fabric of the land. With a deep, resonant roar, the lion proclaims his reign. The sound rolls across the plains, stirring antelope from their slumber and sending a ripple of unease through the bush. This is not mere noise, but a calculated signal, an announcement to rivals, a rallying call to the pride, and a warning to all who might challenge his supremacy. Yet, beneath this overt display of dominance, a subtler contest unfolds. The lion's rule is not uncontested. Sharing these same territories, often unseen and unheard, is the leopard, a rival whose approach to survival is as different as night from day. Their encounters are rare, but when paths cross, the air thickens with tension, each aware of the other's lethal potential. The leopard is a master of invisibility, its rosette-marked coat dissolving into the dappled shadows of the underbrush. Every movement is calculated, every step measured to avoid detection. Unlike the lion, the leopard does not seek confrontation. Instead, it relies on a blend of patience, agility, and acute awareness, slipping through the landscape like a living ghost. While lions gather in prides, their strength amplified by numbers and cooperation, the leopard is a solitary strategist. It navigates a world of constant risk where a single misstep can mean disaster. To survive, it must read the land with precision, detecting the faintest scent of a lion, the distant rumble of paws, the subtle shift in the wind that signals danger. When their worlds collide, the stakes are high. A direct confrontation is perilous for both. The lion, with its brute force, can easily overpower, but the leopard's speed and unpredictability make it a formidable adversary. Each encounter is a silent negotiation, a test of nerve and instinct, where the outcome is shaped by split-second decisions and the environment itself. The leopard's genius lies in its ability to vanish. It moves with a fluid grace, hugging the contours of the land, using every shadow and patch of tall grass as cover. Its senses are finely tuned to the subtlest cues, a distant roar, the scent of a recent kill, the vibration of approaching footsteps. In this world, survival depends on anticipation and the art of remaining unseen. The savanna is a living chessboard, its tall grasses and dense thickets concealing both predator and prey. Here, the leopard weaves through the undergrowth, mapping escape routes and vantage points, while the lion patrols the open ground, asserting its dominance. Every movement is a calculated risk, every decision a matter of life and death. To truly grasp the depth of this rivalry, one must look beyond the obvious. The real contest is not fought in open battle, but in the silent hours, when a pair of amber eyes glint from the shadows, when the grass stirs with invisible movement, when the savanna holds its breath. Here, intelligence and adaptability are as vital as strength. The leopard's ability to read the landscape, to anticipate threats, and to exploit every opportunity is matched only by the lion's command of its pride and territory. Both are shaped by the demands of their environment, each evolving strategies that reflect the harsh realities of the wild. In the end, the savanna does not favor the loudest or the boldest, but those who can adapt, endure, and outwit. The true master of this realm may not be the one who roars the loudest, but the one who survives unseen, an enigma, a shadow, a testament to the silent, ongoing rivalry that shapes the heart of Africa. The lion dwarfs the leopard in size, a classic David and Goliath. At first glance, the outcome seems predetermined. The lion's muscular frame and thunderous presence command the savanna, casting a shadow that few dare to challenge. Yet in the wild, victory is rarely awarded to the strongest. Nature's true contests are won by those who adapt, who think, who anticipate. The leopard, acutely aware of its physical disadvantage, never seeks confrontation. Instead, it crafts a life built on intellect and subtlety. The leopard's first line of defense is invisibility. It studies the lion's routines, when it patrols, where it rests, how it hunts. By memorizing these patterns, the leopard can slip through the same territory, unseen and undetected, often mere meters from danger. Every movement is calculated. The leopard uses the shifting light of dawn and dusk, the cover of dense thickets, and the confusion of wind-blown grass to mask its presence. It times its crossings to coincide with the lion's moments of distraction, when the pride is feeding or when the king is dozing in the heat. Where the lion strides boldly, the leopard becomes a shadow, pausing, listening, and waiting for the perfect moment to move. It reads the landscape like a living map, identifying escape routes and vantage points long before they're needed. Trees are more than shelter, they are fortresses. The leopard's agility allows it to ascend in seconds, carrying even heavy prey out of reach. When a lion draws near, the leopard vanishes upward, sometimes waiting hours until the coast is clear, conserving energy and avoiding unnecessary risk. The leopard's mind is always at work. It deciphers the subtlest cues, a shift in the wind, the distant rumble of paws, the alarm call of a bird. Each sense is tuned to detect threats and opportunities, allowing the leopard to make split-second decisions that mean the difference between life and death. The leopard's patience is legendary. It will wait motionless for hours, letting the lion pass or circle wide around a waterhole to avoid a recent scent. It knows that haste is dangerous and that survival favors those who are willing to wait for the right moment. The savanna is a living puzzle, and the leopard is its master strategist. It memorizes the safest routes, uses gullies and rocky outcrops as cover, and even doubles back on its own tracks to confuse pursuers. Each day, it adapts to new challenges, shifting territories, changing weather, and the unpredictable movements of its rivals. Even in the presence of danger, the leopard's strategy is clear. It hunts when lions are least active, and if a kill is made, it wastes no time hauling it into the branches. This foresight ensures that its hard-won meal is not stolen by the more powerful lion. In this contest, intellect is the ultimate weapon. The leopard's story is not one of brute strength, but of relentless adaptation, silent observation, and the art of survival. It proves day after day that in the wild, the clever and the cautious are the true victors. The leopard's greatest weapon is its agility, fluid, explosive, and unpredictable. Every sinew and tendon in its body is engineered for sudden, precise movement. Its flexible spine, powerful shoulders, and elongated limbs work in perfect harmony, enabling the leopard to accelerate from stillness to a full sprint in a heartbeat. Unlike many predators that rely on brute force, the leopard's strength lies in its ability to move with lightning speed and uncanny precision, making it a master of both ambush and escape. While the lion moves with power, the leopard moves like quicksilver. Its steps are silent, its body hugging the earth, and its gaze is always alert for the faintest sign of movement. The leopard's gait is a study in efficiency, each step calculated to minimize noise and maximize cover. The contrast between the two is striking. The lion is a force of nature, but the leopard is a master of finesse, able to thread its way through tangled vegetation or scale vertical tree trunks with effortless grace. In a surprise encounter, the leopard strikes first, fast, hard, and aimed to shock, not to win a drawn-out fight. Its attacks are meticulously calculated, often beginning from an elevated perch or dense cover. The leopard can launch itself downward with pinpoint accuracy, using gravity and momentum to amplify the force of its initial blow. This split-second assault is designed to catch its opponent off guard, creating a fleeting but critical advantage. Its flexible spine and coiled muscles allow it to leap, twist, and vanish in a heartbeat. The leopard's tail, long and muscular, acts as a dynamic rudder, enabling rapid changes in direction even while airborne. This physical adaptability means the leopard can pivot mid-leap, slip through the narrowest gaps, and disappear into the undergrowth before its enemy can react. Its ability to blend speed with agility is unrivaled among big cats. This isn't just for defense, it's how the leopard hunts and survives. When stalking prey, the leopard moves with painstaking patience, freezing at the slightest hint of detection. But when the moment is right, it unleashes a sudden burst of speed, accelerating up to 58 kilometers per hour in short sprints. Its hunting maneuvers are a blend of patience and explosive action, relying on perfect timing and the element of surprise. A lion's hesitation is all the leopard needs to escape or turn the tables. The leopard's escape tactics are as refined as its hunting skills. Using terrain to its advantage, it darts behind rocks, leaps over obstacles, and vanishes into thickets. In the wild, even a moment's pause can mean the difference between life and death, and the leopard is a master at exploiting these tiny windows of opportunity. The leopard doesn't seek fights, but when cornered, it's a blur of claws and fury. Its defensive strikes are as swift and unpredictable as its attacks, often delivered while retreating or twisting away. The leopard's ability to strike and evade in the same motion makes it a formidable opponent even when outmatched in size or strength. Its strategy: hit fast, disorient, and disappear. The leopard relies on confusion and speed, never giving its adversary a chance to recover or retaliate. Its rosette-patterned coat provides natural camouflage, allowing it to vanish into the interplay of light and shadow within seconds of an attack. In the split-second world of predators, landing the first blow is everything. The leopard's entire existence is built around this principle: strike before being struck, and always stay one step ahead. Its acute senses and rapid reflexes ensure it can react to threats or opportunities in an instant. The leopard's speed is its shield and sword. It can close the distance in a flash or vanish just as quickly, using its agility to dodge, weave, and outmaneuver any threat. Its ability to accelerate, decelerate, and change direction in a split second leaves pursuers bewildered and empty-handed. It survives by being unpredictable and untouchable, a living shadow in the wild. The leopard's unique combination of physical adaptations, flexible spine, powerful limbs, retractable claws, and camouflaged coat make it the embodiment of agility. In the world of big cats, agility isn't just an advantage, it's the very essence of the leopard's survival, allowing it to thrive in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. The leopard is a master of invisibility, seamlessly blending into the dappled shadows of the bush. Its rosette-patterned coat breaks up its outline, making it nearly impossible to spot among tangled branches and thick undergrowth, even as sunlight flickers through the leaves. Patiently, the leopard observes the lion's routines from concealed vantage points, studying patrol routes, listening for the distant rumble of a pride's approach, and memorizing the timing of their movements to waterholes and hunting grounds. It navigates the landscape with calculated precision, using dense thickets, rocky outcrops, and even the cover of night to move undetected. The leopard exploits the lion's tendency to overlook narrow game trails and tangled ravines. Space is too tight or treacherous for a lion's bulk. When opportunity arises, the leopard approaches a lion's kill with extraordinary caution, sometimes descending from a tree under the cover of darkness, or circling downwind to mask its scent. It times its approach for moments when the lions are distracted, perhaps squabbling over scraps or dozing in the heat. The leopard's patience is unmatched. It can remain utterly still for hours, muscles coiled, waiting for the precise instant when the lion's attention drifts or the wind shifts in its favor. Even the faintest rustle could betray its presence, so it waits, senses sharpened to every sound and scent. If a confrontation becomes inevitable, the leopard relies on agility and foresight. It often positions itself near escape routes, low branches, rocky ledges, or dense thickets, ensuring it can vanish in an instant. Rarely does it allow itself to be cornered, always anticipating the lion's next move. The leopard's silent movement is its shield. It can stalk within meters of a lion, using the cover of dusk, the sound of wind in the grass, or the babble of a stream to mask its approach. Each step is measured, each pause calculated to avoid detection. In this high-stakes rivalry, the leopard's true advantage lies in its ability to see without being seen. By exploiting every blind spot, physical, behavioral, and environmental, it remains a ghost in the lion's domain, thriving where brute strength alone is not enough. High above the forest floor, the leopard reigns in a world few predators dare to enter. Here, among the tangled branches and shifting shadows, it finds both sanctuary and sovereignty. With unmatched agility, the leopard scales towering trunks, its claws anchoring it securely as it hauls heavy prey skyward, an effortless feat that leaves lions earthbound and envious. The branches become its fortress, a larder where fresh kills are stashed beyond the reach of hyenas and jackals. Here, the leopard dines in peace, the rustle of leaves masking the sounds of its meal. When danger stirs below, be it a prowling lion or a pack of wild dogs, the leopard's escape is swift and vertical. In a heartbeat, it vanishes into the green labyrinth, leaving pursuers bewildered at the base. From its lofty perch, the leopard becomes a silent observer. It studies the movements of antelope and warthog, notes the calls of hornbills and the alarm barks of baboons, and waits for the perfect moment to descend. The lion, mighty on the plains, is rendered powerless here. It can only gaze upward, thwarted by the very branches that shield the leopard from harm. In this vertical kingdom, the leopard encounters a tapestry of life: owls roosting nearby, squirrels darting along branches, and butterflies fluttering through shafts of sunlight. Each day brings new interactions, new challenges, and new opportunities. Here in the Canopies, the leopard is master of all its surveys. The balance of power is transformed, and the treetops become both shield and throne for this solitary, elusive ruler. The leopard's strength-to-weight ratio is unmatched. Pound for pound, it's the strongest big cat. Its powerful forelimbs and retractable claws allow it to hoist prey several times its own weight high into the branches, far beyond the reach of rivals and scavengers. This feline's solitary lifestyle is a masterclass in adaptability. Leopards expertly navigate dense forests, open savannas, and rocky outcrops, using their acute senses to remain undetected by both prey and predators. Unlike lions, leopards are fiercely territorial and avoid sharing food or space. Their secretive habits minimize direct competition, allowing them to exploit resources that others overlook. When threatened, a leopard's agility and explosive power turn it into a blur of claws and fangs. Its lightning-fast reflexes and unpredictable movements can deter even much larger adversaries. The leopard's defensive arsenal is as refined as its hunting skills. It can vanish into the landscape in an instant, using camouflage and silence to avoid danger or ambush prey. Every adaptation, muscular build, flexible spine, and padded paws, enhances its stealth and maneuverability, making it a master of both pursuit and escape. The leopard's acute night vision, sensitive whiskers, and keen hearing allow it to hunt under cover of darkness, while its meticulous grooming keeps its coat in prime condition for silent movement. These unique physical and behavioral traits are the leopard's true secret weapons, allowing it to survive, thrive, and even challenge the king in the wild. In the wild, survival is not a matter of brute strength, but of sharp instincts and split-second decisions. For the leopard, every moment is a calculation, analyzing risk, opportunity, and the ever-shifting balance between aggression and evasion. The leopard's mind works like a chess master's, always several moves ahead. When a distant hyena cackle or the scent of a lion drifts on the wind, it must decide, stand its ground, vanish into the thicket, or climb to safety above. Even a small wound can tip the scales. A solitary hunter cannot afford the luxury of bravado. A torn muscle or deep bite could mean starvation. The leopard's first instinct is always to preserve its ability to hunt another day. When the odds turn, the leopard does not hesitate. If a pride of lions or a pack of hyenas closes in, it will abandon a hard-won meal, vanishing into the undergrowth with barely a whisper. The cost of a lost meal is far less than the price of a fatal encounter. Yet, when the stakes are highest, when cubs are threatened, the leopard transforms. It will face down much larger adversaries, unleashing a ferocity that belies its solitary nature. In these moments, the risk is outweighed by the instinct to protect its bloodline. These confrontations are not displays of dominance but acts of necessity. Each snarl, each calculated swipe is a measured gamble, an attempt to buy time, to create an opening for escape, or to convince the enemy that the cost is too high. More often, the leopard's genius lies in what is unseen. It slips through the landscape like a living shadow, using every patch of cover, every trick of light to avoid detection. Stealth is its greatest weapon, allowing it to hunt, evade, and survive where others would fall. The leopard will forgo a meal, slink away from a confrontation, or even abandon territory if it means living to fight another day. But when its legacy, its cubs, or its hard-won territory is at stake, it becomes relentless, channeling every ounce of cunning and strength. This adaptability is the hallmark of the leopard's survival strategy. It knows when to vanish, when to wait, and when to strike, a level of tactical sophistication that far surpasses simple brute force. In the end, it is this intelligence, this constant, careful weighing of risk and reward, that ensures the leopard's place in a world where every day is a test of survival. The lion's dominance isn't absolute. Out here, the balance of power is always shifting. Sometimes the leopard turns the tables, but just as often it finds itself in the crosshairs of larger predators. Hyenas, relentless and cunning, pose a constant threat. A single misstep can draw the attention of a hungry clan, forcing the leopard to abandon its kill or risk a brutal confrontation. In these moments, the leopard's survival depends on its agility and quick thinking, darting up trees, melting into the shadows, or doubling back on its own trail to confuse pursuers. Even lions, if they catch the scent of a rival, will not hesitate to chase a leopard down. The leopard must read the landscape, anticipate danger, and vanish before it's seen. The attack, when it comes, is often sudden, a burst of speed, a flash of claws, and the leopard must rely on its reflexes to escape. Trees become sanctuaries, offering a vantage point and a last refuge from ground-bound threats. Here, the leopard can rest, nurse wounds, and wait for danger to pass. But even above ground, safety is never guaranteed. At the water's edge, crocodiles lie in wait, their patience as deadly as their jaws. A single careless drink can end in disaster. Occasionally, leopards will risk everything to target sick or injured adult lions, but this gamble can backfire if the pride rallies to defend its own. Every movement is calculated, every risk weighed against the instinct to survive. These rare moments, when the hunter becomes the hunted, reveal the razor-thin margin between dominance and vulnerability. In the wild, even the most skilled predator must remain vigilant. For the leopard, survival is a daily test of wit, agility, and nerve, proof that in nature no creature is ever truly safe. The leopard's legend is woven from threads of ingenuity and quiet resilience, a tale not of dominance, but of survival against the odds. In the shadow of the lion, the leopard has mastered the art of evasion, choosing patience over confrontation and observation over brute force. Its unmatched agility allows it to ascend trees in seconds, escaping danger and securing meals beyond the reach of heavier rivals. Stories abound of leopards vanishing into the canopy with prey twice their size, leaving lions bewildered below. The leopard's compact frame is a tool of adaptation, slipping through tangled branches, scaling rocky outcrops, and melting into the dappled shadows of its domain. In the harshest droughts, it finds water where others see only dust, and in the thickest bush, it becomes a ghost, Each hunt is a calculated risk, a display of patience and precision. The leopard's opportunism is legendary, ambushing unsuspecting prey at waterholes, or snatching a meal from the jaws of chaos after a stampede. This silent rivalry with the lion has shaped the leopard's every instinct. Where the lion rules by force, the leopard reigns by wit, carving out a parallel existence in the same unforgiving wilderness. There are tales of leopards vanishing into tall grass, only to reappear miles away, unscathed and undetected. Their eyes, ever watchful, miss nothing, each movement calculated, each step a testament to survival as an art form. In the vast theatre of the wild, the leopard's story is not written in roars, but in whispers, its legend built on moments of brilliance, adaptability, and the quiet triumph of cunning over strength. As dusk settles over the savannah, a new kingdom awakens, one ruled not by the roar of the lion but by the silent prowl of the leopard. In the cloak of night, the leopard's world transforms. Its vision sharpens to a near supernatural clarity, pale green eyes catching the faintest flicker of movement in the shadows. Every whisker becomes a sensor, reading the subtle tremors in the air. Every paw lands with practiced silence, barely bending the grass beneath. Night grants the leopard distinct advantages. While lions gather in groups and rest in the open, the leopard slips through darkness alone, navigating a labyrinth of moonlit branches and starlit rocks. It stalks with infinite patience, using the cover of darkness to get within striking distance of prey that would be impossible to approach by day. Small antelope, monkeys, and even birds roosting on low branches become targets, unprepared for the ghostly hunter that moves without a sound. The leopard's nocturnal tactics are a masterclass in stealth. It times its attacks to coincide with the rustling winds or the distant calls of nightjars, masking any sound of its approach. Sometimes it will freeze for minutes, unmoving, blending perfectly into the patchwork of shadow and moonlight, waiting for just the right moment to strike. When the attack comes, it is explosive and precise, a sudden leap, a powerful bite, and the struggle is over before the night itself can react. But the night is not without danger. Hyenas patrol the darkness, their noses keen and their numbers threatening. The leopard, anticipating their arrival, drags its kill high into the branches, out of reach, out of sight. Here it dines in solitude, the meal secure from scavengers below. Even the lion, with its brute strength, remains grounded while the leopard feasts overhead. In these hours, the leopard is at its most inventive, using every advantage the darkness provides. It memorizes the shifting patterns of moonlight and shadow, learns the paths of nocturnal prey, and adapts its hunting grounds from night to night. The leopard's territory is not fixed by borders, but by opportunity, fluid, ever-changing, defined by the secrets only night reveals. In the world after sunset, the leopard is not just a survivor, it is a sovereign. Each night is a fresh canvas, each hunt a demonstration of mastery over the unseen. In silence and shadow, the leopard's legend grows, painted in the invisible ink of the midnight realm. In the nocturnal theatre of the savannah, the leopard is not alone. Other predators, equally skilled and equally hungry, prowl the same darkness. Among them, hyenas and wild dogs stand out, not for their stealth, but for their numbers and relentless pursuit. Hyenas, with their uncanny ability to detect the scent of fresh blood from kilometers away, often converge on a kill with eerie precision. The leopard, acutely aware of this, rarely lingers on the ground after a successful hunt. With practiced efficiency, it hoists its prey into the highest branches, muscles rippling as it ascends. In these aerial havens, the leopard watches the hyenas gather below, snarling, circling, frustrated but powerless. Only the faintest scraps, dropped by accident, ever reach the scavengers. Wild dogs, on the other hand, hunt in coordinated packs, their strategy built on endurance and teamwork. If a leopard is spotted with a kill, the dogs will harry and distract, testing the cat's resolve. The leopard responds not with brute force, but with calculated patience. It may abandon a kill temporarily, melting into the shadows to avoid injury, only to return hours later when the pack has moved on. Sometimes the leopard will intentionally leave a decoy kill in the open, drawing competitors away from its true prize, hidden securely in the treetops. These encounters are not always peaceful. When cornered, the leopard's agility and explosive power can turn the tables, launching itself from a branch or striking with a burst of speed that catches even seasoned predators off guard. More often, though, the leopard chooses discretion over confrontation, relying on its knowledge of escape routes and secret paths woven through the dense undergrowth. Every night, these silent negotiations and calculated retreats shape the balance of power among Africa's top predators. The leopard's genius lies not just in its ability to hunt, but in its mastery of avoidance and adaptation. By outwitting its rivals, the leopard ensures its survival. Each encounter a lesson, each escape a testament to its enduring supremacy in the ever-shifting shadows. As the savanna's seasons shift from searing drought to torrential downpour, the leopard's true genius is revealed, not in confrontation, but in adaptation. In years when the rains fail and grass withers to brittle straw, prey herds scatter, leaving the land silent and empty. While some predators grow desperate, the leopard transforms scarcity into opportunity. It broadens its hunting grounds, silently navigating dry riverbeds and rocky outcrops in search of overlooked meals, lone hares, nesting birds, or even reptiles basking on sun-baked stones. Its diet grows as flexible as its movements, a testament to its resourcefulness. But when the heavens open and floodwaters surge, the landscape becomes unrecognizable. The leopard, undaunted, adapts once more. It learns the patterns of new prey, monitor lizards and amphibians drawn to temporary pools, or stranded antelope forced onto islands of higher ground. With its powerful limbs, the leopard becomes an agile swimmer, crossing swollen streams and marshes with stealth and confidence, leaving barely a ripple behind. In the dense thickets, where the ground is treacherous and visibility low, the leopard's spotted coat grants perfect camouflage among the shadows and tangled vines. Here, it redefines its territory, finding dry refuges in hollow trees or atop sturdy branches above the reach of the rising waters. Each flood, each drought, is met with a new strategy, an unending dance of innovation. This relentless adaptability is the leopard's quiet triumph. While other predators falter or flee, the leopard endures, its legacy woven not just through power, but through an unrivaled capacity to survive and thrive, no matter how the world around it changes. Within the intricate tapestry of the savanna and forests, the leopard is more than a solitary hunter. It is a silent architect of balance. Its presence ripples through the ecosystem, shaping the lives of countless species in ways both direct and unseen. By preying on the weak, the sick, and the unwary, the leopard prunes herds and flocks, ensuring only the fittest survive to pass on their genes. This selective pressure helps maintain healthier populations of antelope, monkeys, and even smaller predators like jackals. Yet the leopard's influence extends beyond its victims. Each meal leaves behind remnants, bones, scraps, or overlooked organs. These leavings sustain a hidden army of scavengers, hyenas, vultures, and beetles, all relying on the leopard's leftovers to fuel their own survival. In the dense undergrowth, even ants and fungi benefit, breaking down what remains and returning nutrients to the soil, feeding the roots of trees that shelter and conceal the leopard itself. But the leopard's role is not only that of predator and provider. Its elusive presence keeps rival carnivores on edge. Wild dogs and cheetahs adjust their hunting routes to avoid crossing paths with this formidable feline, reducing direct conflict and allowing multiple predators to coexist within the same territory. In the treetops, baboon troops scan for the telltale shimmer of rosetted fur, their vigilance heightened, their young kept close. The leopard's stealthy patrols also protect the ecosystem from imbalance. When populations of certain prey threaten to explode, gnawing young saplings or stripping the land bare, the leopard steps in, restoring equilibrium before damage becomes irreversible. Even in death, the leopard's body nourishes the land. It becomes a feast for scavengers and decomposers, its energy cycling back into the web of life it once so carefully maintained. Through every calculated hunt, every cautious step, the leopard weaves connections that bind the wild together. It is both shadow and keystone, a force that keeps chaos at bay and diversity flourishing. A guardian, unseen but ever present at the heart of nature's enduring design. Hidden beneath a tangle of roots and leaves, a leopardess becomes both fortress and tutor. Here, in the dappled twilight of her secret den, new life stirs. Blind, vulnerable, yet born into a world where every heartbeat is a lesson in survival. From the very first, the mother's instincts shape her cub's fate. She selects her den with painstaking care, choosing sites cloaked in silence and shadow, far from the patrolling noses of hyenas or the roars of rival lions. Her days revolve around a delicate balance. She must hunt often enough to nourish her growing young, yet remain elusive, never leading danger to her hidden brood. When she returns, her presence is a masterclass in stealth, her steps silent, her scent masked by the wind. The cubs, in turn, absorb these lessons from the shadows, learning that stillness is safety and that curiosity must always yield to caution. As the cubs grow, their education intensifies. Their mother introduces them to the art of concealment, urging them to freeze at the faintest sound, to blend with the dappled light, and to move only when the world is still. She brings back injured prey, small, manageable but alive, allowing her cubs to discover the pulse of the hunt and the necessity of a swift, silent kill. Each pounce, each stumble is met with patience. The leopardess corrects with a gentle swat or a guiding nudge, shaping instinct into skill. The lessons extend beyond the hunt. She teaches them the language of the forest, how to read the alarm calls of birds, the rustle of monkeys, and the shifting scents on the breeze. She shows them how to scale trees with claws unsheathed, to cache a meal high above scavengers, and to slip away unseen when danger draws near. As weeks turn to months, the cubs are led farther from the den, their world expanding with every careful step. The mother's vigilance never wanes. She is both shield and shadow, intervening only when absolutely necessary, for it is in the crucible of close calls and narrow escapes that true survivors are forged. When the time comes for the young leopards to step into the wild alone, they carry with them more than muscle and fang. They inherit a legacy of wisdom, stealth honed by generations, patience born of necessity, and a silent, watchful presence that will one day shape the balance of the wild in their own right. In every leap and every lingering pause, the mother's lessons endure, woven into the very fabric of the leopard's enduring mystery. In the shifting tapestry of the wild, the leopard's greatest weapon is not its claws nor its fangs, but the cloak of invisibility it weaves with every step. Camouflage is the silent art that grants the leopard dominion across a spectrum of terrains, from dense forest floors to sun-baked savannas and rocky outcrops. Each landscape presents a challenge, each demands a unique artistry. In the tangled undergrowth of the rainforest, dappled shadows dance across the leopard's coat. Here, its rosettes mimic the fractured sunlight, filtering through a ceiling of green, breaking up its outline into a puzzle the eye cannot solve. With every shift of the breeze, the leopard melts deeper into the mosaic of shadow and light, pausing mid-stride so that even the keenest eyes mistake its stillness for a patch of moss or a cluster of leaves. On the open grasslands, where cover is sparse and the sun casts long, unforgiving shadows, the leopard becomes a master of timing. It crouches low in the golden grass, aligning its body with the wind and the movement of the prey. Its fur, tinged with tawny hues, blends seamlessly with the dry stalks. The leopard will wait for hours, muscles taut, until the angle of the sun and the rustle of the herd offer a passage cloaked in near invisibility. Among rocky escarpments and stony riverbeds, the leopard's camouflage is a study in adaptation. Its rosettes echo the mottled pattern of lichen and stone, while its body molds to the contours of the landscape. Here, the leopard uses the terrain itself, crawling along ledges, flattening against boulders and slipping through crevices, to erase its presence. Even a passing shadow can become an ally, stretching across its body and rendering it a mere suggestion among the rocks. Stealth is not just about blending in. It's about moving with the world, not against it. The leopard's footsteps are measured, each paw placed where leaf litter or gravel won't betray its passage. Its tail, tipped in white, flicks only when hidden, never to draw attention. In the rain, it uses the sound of falling water to mask its approach. In the dry season, it waits for the wind to carry its scent away from wary nostrils. This mastery of camouflage and stealth is more than survival. It is a silent dance with the wild, an artistry honed by necessity and perfected by generations. In every terrain, under every sky, the leopard remains unseen until it chooses to be revealed. This is the true genius of the solitary hunter, to be everywhere and nowhere all at once. In the silent theatre of the wild, every encounter between leopard and prey is a story written in shadows and split-second decisions. Each hunt is shaped by circumstance, by terrain, weather, and the unpredictable will of the hunted. The leopard, a solitary maestro, adapts its tactics with a quiet ingenuity that few predators can match. In the dense thickets of the acacia woodland, a duiker grazes beneath the dappled canopy. The leopard, perched silently on a low-hanging branch, becomes a living extension of the tree. Patient and motionless, it waits for the duiker to step into a shaft of filtered sunlight. In a blur of muscle and precision, the leopard drops, landing with barely a sound. The chase is brief. With a swift, calculated bite to the neck, the hunt concludes, clean, efficient, almost surgical. Elsewhere, in the open floodplains after a night of rain, a troop of baboons forages among the reeds. Here, the leopard's strategy shifts. It moves with exaggerated slowness, using the tall grass and the rising mist as cover. The baboons, ever alert, chatter nervously. The leopard selects its target, a juvenile, lagging behind. Timing is everything. A sudden burst of speed, a leap that seems to defy gravity, and the leopard seizes its quarry. The baboons scatter, shrieking, but the leopard vanishes into the reeds, its prize held high, victorious. Not every hunt ends in triumph. In the rocky foothills, a herd of impala browses near a shallow ravine. The leopard stalks low, muscles rippling beneath its rosetted coat, but a sharp-eyed female catches the faintest flicker of movement. With a warning snort, the impala spring away in a synchronized surge. The leopard gives chase, but the impala's agility and speed win the day. The predator halts, sides heaving, and melts back into the rocks. One more lesson in patience and humility. On a moonless night, the leopard's path crosses with a porcupine. The spiny creature shuffles along a game trail, oblivious to the silent shadow behind it. The leopard circles, calculating. One misjudged swipe, and a forest of quills bristles in warning. The leopard withdraws, unharmed but wiser, learning to respect the armor of the wild. Every encounter is a test, not just of strength, but of wit, timing, and adaptability. Whether victorious or humbled, the leopard's journey through the wild is a chronicle of encounters, each one shaping its legend. Here, in the heart of untamed Africa, the leopard's story is written not in words, but in the silent language of the hunt. In the intricate mosaic of the wild, a leopard's territory is both a sanctuary and a silent battleground. Unlike the open declarations of dominance seen in other predators, the leopard's claims are written in scents and silent signals, a language invisible to the untrained eye, yet unmistakable to those who share its world. As dawn breaks over the savanna, a male leopard prowls the edge of his domain. He pauses beneath a sprawling marula tree, tail flicking. With practiced precision, he sprays a fine mist of urine against the trunk, the scent a subtle warning and invitation rolled into one. Each deposit is a chemical signature, rich with information, age, health, readiness to mate, and, above all, a message. This land is spoken for. But scent marking is only the beginning. The leopard rakes its claws down the bark, leaving deep vertical scars. These grooves, fresh and raw, are visual cues, territorial graffiti that lingers long after the scent fades. Along well-trodden game paths, the leopard pauses to rub its cheeks against overhanging branches, leaving behind the faint trace of facial glands. These invisible boundaries weave a complex web across the landscape, mapping out a kingdom that is fiercely defended yet never fenced. Territorial disputes are rarely settled with open combat. More often, they are battles of patience and intimidation, a war of nerves played out in the darkness. An intruding male, drawn by the promise of unclaimed land, tests the perimeter. He sniffs the air, reads the messages left by the resident, and sometimes replies with his own markings. Tension mounts, but confrontation is a last resort. In the rare event that two leopards meet face to face, the encounter is a spectacle of controlled aggression. Low growls, a rigid stance, tails twitching in warning. Each tries to outstare the other, a contest of willpower and presence. Most times one will yield, melting back into the undergrowth, the boundaries reaffirmed without a drop of blood. Even at the edges of their domains, leopards remain vigilant. They patrol in silence, ever alert for trespassers, other leopards, opportunistic hyenas, or the restless movements of rival predators. Every mark, every patrol is an act of survival and sovereignty, ensuring that the fragile balance of the wild is maintained. In the world of the leopard, territory is not just a place. It is a living testament to resilience, intelligence, and the silent strategies that define life in the shadows. In the twilight heart of the wilderness, the leopard's world is alive with messages few can perceive. Beyond the bold marks of territory, these elusive cats wield a sophisticated language, a tapestry of sound and scent woven into the fabric of the night. A low, rasping cough echoes through the tangled undergrowth. This is the leopard's signature call, a guttural, sawing bark that carries far beyond the reach of its stealthy paws. Not a roar, but a declaration. It signals presence, warns rivals, and sometimes seeks out a mate. In the hush before dawn, this vocalization ripples across the landscape, an invisible thread connecting leopards, even when their paths never cross. But the language of leopards is not built on sound alone. Each movement, each pause is punctuated by a silent conversation. A female gliding through a corridor of acacia pauses to rub her jaw along a branch. From her cheeks, scent glands release a unique bouquet, chemical notes that reveal identity, mood, and even reproductive state. To another leopard, this silent message is as clear as a spoken word. Urine, too, becomes a coded letter, sprayed at strategic crossroads. It is both a warning and a calling card. The composition of these markings shifts with the seasons and the cat's inner state, a dynamic script that only another leopard can truly decipher. Even the scrape of hind paws, scuffing dry earth and leaves, adds a subtle layer to this olfactory dialogue. These messages persist long after the sender has melted into the shadows. Each lingering scent, each faded cough, maintains an invisible network across the wild, a living archive of alliances, rivalries, and opportunities. Through whispered signals and cryptic calls, leopards navigate a world where silence is strength and every shadow holds a story. In the intricate dance of communication, they are both unseen and ever-present, masters of a language spoken only in the wild's deepest hush. As the years slip silently by, the leopard's journey takes on a new and unforgiving shape. The once unblemished coat now bears the muted scars of battles fought and territories defended, the rosettes faded beneath a veil of silvered fur. Age creeps in quietly, tendons lose their spring, and the sinewy muscles that once powered effortless leaps begin to stiffen. The leopard's night vision, once sharp enough to pierce the deepest gloom, gradually dims, blurring the edges of familiar paths. Hunting becomes a test of patience and adaptation. Younger rivals, brimming with vitality, prowl at the edges of the elder's realm, eager to claim ground. Prey that once fell with swift, calculated strikes now demands greater cunning. The chase is shorter, the ambush more precise. For a wasted effort is a costly gamble when energy wanes. Old leopards favor smaller, slower quarry, relying on wisdom rather than strength, and often scavenge the remains of others, a quiet concession to the passage of time. The solitary life grows lonelier. The scents that once marked the boundaries of dominance now serve as fading reminders, overwritten by fresher claims. Encounters with hyenas or lions become more perilous. The margin for error narrows with each passing season. Even the climb to a safe perch in the trees becomes a calculated risk, each ascent slower and more deliberate. Yet within the shadow of decline, there is resilience. Old leopards draw deeply on experience, reading the winds and the whispers of the bush with unmatched subtlety. They avoid unnecessary conflict, slip away before trouble brews, and find shelter in the most secluded refuges. The art of survival shifts. It is no longer about conquest, but about enduring, making the most of every remaining strength. In the final chapters of their lives, these aging predators become ghostly presences, seldom seen, but always sensed. Their legacy lingers in the territory they once ruled, in the cubs they raised, and in the silent trails only they remember. As the wild claims what it lent, the leopard's story does not end in defeat, but in the dignified persistence of a master who has known every secret of the shadows.